Hey everyone, Lauren from A Girl and Her Wool here. So today we're gonna be doing this weekend, we're gonna do a little weekend vlog. I have a bunch of things going on. It's just a regular 2-day weekend, but if you know me, I have my hand-dyed yarn shop, A Girl and Her Wool, and during the week I work a full-time corporate job. So the weekend is usually all about the yarn. So today I'm gonna be dyeing, so I have to wind some skeins, dye them, and then I'll be packaging orders as well. And then I'm also gonna just show some other crafty things, some projects I'm working on and the like. My husband and I are planning to do a productive Saturday and a fun day Sunday, so let's see how this goes. So I recently got this electric skein winder, which has been such an amazing time saver for my shop. So if you don't know, I dye skeins in any sizes. So I spend a lot of my time winding off skeins. And I could end up taking, like I was saying before, I do a lot of my business on the weekends, and I could spend all of Saturday winding off skeins. So this has been a huge time saver for me. I got this is an electric skein winder from Crazy Monkey Creations, and you saw it kind of just winds off the cone electronically, and I can do more than one skein at once, which is great, especially for the mini skein sets that I do where all the skeins are the same sizes. That just gets really easy. So again, this has been a huge time saver, but then also a huge like shoulder saver, because I used to manually wind it onto my Swift. So yeah, that's been a very positive change for the shop. So yeah, I am winding off these skeins. I just have a couple of orders that I actually need to dye the yarn for, and then the others are all in stock, so I can just package those up later. I'm gonna be dyeing, I have a I have a monthly mystery yarn of the club, a mystery yarn of the month club. So I'm gonna be dyeing up some of that. I'm actually gonna record myself filming that, and then that will be a dye with me video later in July once all the skeins have gone out. And then I just have one other colorway that I needed to dye a skein for. So not too much dyeing. I don't think I'm going to be dyeing anything for stock. No new colorways this week, just because I have a lot of packaging up of orders to do, and I do actually have to prep for the next yarn of the month club. So that'll be the bulk of what I'm doing. So again, I'm not going to be dyeing up too much this weekend, but we'll be getting orders out. And then make sure you check for when the August monthly skeins go up. Those will go up on the 15th, which is when July will come down, and then also the 3-month club starting in August will go up on that day as well, and the July 3-month will come down. So go check those out. And yeah, so I'm gonna finish winding skeins, and then we'll get to I thought I would just pause right here for a second and kind of explain something that I have talked about in my shop. So this at one point in its former life was a 100-gram skein of my colorway Neon Unicorn. And it's looking quite thin because, as I've mentioned before, I do sell any size skeins, and someone had bought a 20-gram skein and now someone bought a 50-gram skein, and so I just kind of wind it off of my skeins. And this has been, so this one is looking kind of thin just because it's getting purchased, but I wanted to show the two skeins next to each other. So this is Neon Unicorn, kind of, if you bought a 100-gram skein, you'd get it like this. This is how it pretty much comes out of the dye pots. So it has bits of pink and some turquoise, and then it has some like deeper blues in there as well. And when I wind it off into the smaller skeins, you can see the circumferences are different. So I try to not have long strangly skeins like this, and I try to keep them somewhat thicker. And so when I do a 50-gram skein, the circumference of it is shorter than the 100. So what happens is what you just saw me doing, where I was winding off this skein from here, is it's called reskeining. And so what happens is the colors get a little bit more jumbled. So this came from this skein, but you can see it looks a little bit different, and that's just because the colors here that were here all lined up next to each other are no longer next to each other. It's just a little bit more jumbled. So when you order from my shop, if it doesn't look quite like the photos, it's probably a reskeined skein, and it looked like the photo at some point and now has gotten reskeined. This is also something interesting. If you watched my most recent dye with me video, I dyed up some one-of-a-kind colors, and I kind of talked about, you know, getting splotches like that on the skein. And so when you have, and I kind of talked about it, where since you have multiple strands next to each other, it looks like you've used a lot more dye than you have. So this part here that has a lot of that turquoise there, it makes it look like you might get a lot of turquoise in one spot when you're using the yarn, like knitting, crocheting, or weaving. But then if you come to the skein here, and obviously I don't know where this splotch is here, but once it's all jumbled up, you really see how you don't have huge bits of the turquoise all together. So it's just something to think about, that when you're knitting, it's going to end up looking more like this than pulled together like that, because again, this has multiple strands that most likely won't be knit next to each other. It'll kind of get more jumbled up like this. So I thought that would be fun to show you guys. I'm going to wind off a skein of plotzing. These were ordered together, and they do go so well together. So I'm gonna wind that off, and then we'll go from there. I am going to be doing some dyeing. I'm packaging up orders now, as my husband is baking us some delicious banana bread, and so once he's done in the kitchen, I will get in there, and my yarn is soaking in the meantime, so it kind of worked out perfectly. So back to packaging. These two orders are ready to go. I wrote up the thank you notes, and you can see they are in my bin. So I use that cubby hole for skeins that are completely ready to go, and then when the order is ready to go, I just can grab them out of there. I store like my in-stock yarn elsewhere, and so those are just skeins that are absolutely ready to go. So I wrote my thank you notes. So at this point, I would normally package them up, seal them up, and put the shipping label and be ready to go. But it is Saturday, and I won't be able to make it to the post office before they close today. So these won't actually ship till Monday, and so I don't like to print the shipping label because On Etsy, you can mark what day you're actually going to ship it, and the seller or the buyer wouldn't get the notification until that day. But I've started using a third-party shipping service, and so when I mark what day, I always mark a later day, but I think the email, you know, with its integration with Etsy, I think Etsy will still, it doesn't like tell Etsy that date, and so Etsy sends it immediately. So I don't want people getting shipping notifications on Saturday when it's not shipping till Monday, especially because right now things with the post office are slow anyway, which means that even if I do drop it off on Monday, it might not get scanned until Tuesday or Wednesday, and so it'll just look really bad if it's Saturday to Wednesday that it's going to look like pre-shipment. So I'll print those off tomorrow or Monday morning, but they are all ready to go, and the thank you notes are done, which is great because those always take some extra time, which I'm happy to do because I do sincerely appreciate every single order. While I was doing all of that, I did get 2 more orders in. So I did get 2 more orders in just now while I was doing that. So one is for Mystery Mini, so that I can just package up later. They're all ready to go. And then the other one I actually do have to dye up. This was a custom order. So essentially it was for a colorway that I used to have up in the shop, and someone needed a little bit more, so I'm going to dye it up for her. And that's another thing. I've been listing just what's in stock for the most part, and so if you see a colorway that you like that I don't have it on the right base or in the right quantity or the right skein size, there's now a request a custom listing. You can click on that, and that will just message me, and then we can figure out a custom listing, or just message me and I'll set one up. I have no problem doing that. Right now, custom listings all cost the same amount, so it doesn't actually matter if you get it as a custom listing or not. It's the same price, and then just from a time standpoint, right now all custom orders will ship within my normal 5-day processing time. The benefit of me just doing it this way is that there can be some days where I get 5 orders in that are to be dyed, and then that can just start to build. And so by doing it through messaging, I can set realistic timelines. So anyway, that is how I'm doing it. So everything you see in the shop is pretty much in stock for the most part. There are still some colorways that are there for a limited time, and so I dye those to order. But for the most part, everything's in stock. So that's been helping me. My mom is messaging me because she needs some help with her knitting, so I'm gonna go. My husband sounds like he's done in the kitchen, so we're gonna get to dyeing, and I'll see you. So I just finished up my dyeing for the day. Again, it wasn't much. I just did the mystery skein, and I did do it as a dye with me video, so you should see that later in July. I just want to make sure I don't post it before all the skeins go out. So I must have been kicking the tripod as I did it because the camera angles really weren't great, and so I apologize for that, but I probably won't re-record that dye with me because this is a limited edition colorway and I'm just doing them to order. So anyway, dyeing is done. We're gonna have some lunch now. My husband is just finishing vacuuming out my car. We're gonna have some lunch, and then we have some joint items we want to knock off our to-do list today, and then again tomorrow we're really aiming to have a fun day. I rarely take like complete days off because I'm either working my full-time job or the business, and again, like I said earlier, our days have just gotten very monotonous, and I think we're both just looking to change things up a little bit. So we're not going to do anything too crazy. We probably will just do a jigsaw puzzle, but if you know us, you know we love doing puzzles, and we haven't done one in a really long time. So that is that. I am gonna get going, like I said. See you later. Hey everyone, I thought I would show you what I have been knitting on recently. So this is a test knit that I'm doing. It's just kind of a rectangular wrap shawl that has a really pretty texture pattern all throughout it. And it was designed using my rose gold gradient set, and I'm doing it out of my Mountain Springs gradient. So, and you can see here, starting to get into some of the browns. So if you haven't seen that gradient, it goes from a dark blue throughout to a lighter blue and then into the browns, and then it goes to dark browns. But you see these bits of bright blue that runs all throughout the gradient, even on the brown skeins. And I also do a little bit of speckling of brown on the blue side and a little bit of brown or blue speckling on the brown side. And so kind of just lining up the rest of the colors here. I did wind up the next ball, which I put somewhere that is not here. So this is a color that I'm currently working on, which is color 7. I wound off color 6. I wound off color 7, which I think is on a counter right behind me. And then this is 8, 9, and 10. So the pattern is designed using my sock base in 20 gram 10 20-gram minis. So I have plenty of gradients in my shop that would work perfectly for this, but it's also good if you have even like a scrap project and you want to just like do a scrap wrap. That would be a really cool idea for this pattern as well. So again, this is a test knit, so it's not out yet, but look for it soon. I am hoping that I'm just about up to starting to transition to the next color, which is why I wound it off already. So I'm hoping to definitely get through that today and maybe even get through most of number 7, and then maybe by the end of the weekend be through this one and have 2 more left for the week and finish it by the weekend. Yeah, you think? I don't know. Hey everyone, it is now Sunday morning. I just got out of the shower, so my hair is soaking wet, but I wanted to check in. So yesterday, again, we had a really productive day and I felt really great to do that. And now, you know, I kind of went to bed last night saying, yay, I can sleep in, relax tomorrow, and it was a really good feeling. So we ended up getting everything done on our to-do list. We ended up going grocery shopping, and then after that we sat down and did a puzzle, which was nice. We haven't done one in a really long time. We didn't finish it, but we started one, and we just had some like bad TV on in the background and chatted. So it was good, it was relaxing, it was nice to spend time together. And yeah, actually, so I'm going to be packaging up orders now. I got quite a few orders in yesterday, and every one of them but one is in stock. So I'm going to try and just get everything packaged up and then schedule a pickup for tomorrow so we can all go out tomorrow. And then that last order and whatever else comes in at this point, we'll just get done throughout the week. But I'm not sure if it's going to be a busy work week again, so as much as I can get done today as possible. I just said it's going to be a fun, relaxing day, and I'm going to be packaging orders. But I did some of it yesterday, so hopefully not too bad. And honestly, I'll get done what I get done. If it's taking too long, I'll do it tomorrow or the next day.